Okay, in this video we're going to derive the quadratic formula, which is there on the screen. X is equal to minus b plus or minus the root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now, in order to derive this formula, we're going to start with a standard quadratic equation with coefficients a, b, and c. Okay, now coefficient is just a fancy name for the numbers that go in front of the x squared in the x term and the constant here. Now, the way in which we're going to solve this to find x is to use the completing the square method. And to do that, first we've got to factorize out the a from these two terms here. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to write a, big bracket, x squared plus b upon a, x, and then I'm going to move the c to the other side because I don't really need it at the moment. Okay, now that I've done that, I want to complete the square with these terms here. Now, I'm not going to explain how completing the square works. That's for another video. I'm just going to do it here. I'm going to take the b upon a, I'm going to divide it by 2 and put it here. And then subtract the b upon 2a squared. Okay, if you're not sure about that, you need to go away and review the completing the square. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide both sides through by a. So I'm going to get here x plus b upon 2a all squared minus b squared upon 4a squared is equal to minus c upon a. All right, remember I want to solve to find x, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this b squared minus 4ac to the right hand side. So I'm going to get on the left hand side x plus b upon 2a all squared is equal to b squared over 4a squared minus c upon a. Okay. Now then, on the right hand side, what I'd like to do is I'd like to combine those two fractions. So the way I'm going to do that is to give them the same denominator. Okay, so that means I need to multiply the top and bottom of this fraction by 4a. So if I do that, what I'm going to get is b squared minus 4ac all over 4a squared. Now hopefully you can see this is beginning to give us the quadratic formula, isn't it? Because we've got the b squared minus 4ac term. Okay, then now what I need to do is I need to square root both sides so that I've just got x plus b upon 2a on the left hand side, and that will therefore equal to the square root of the b squared minus 4ac all over 4a squared. But of course, if I square root, I've got two potential answers, so I need to have the plus or the minus sign there. Okay, now then, if we think about the denominator here, think about this thing. If I was to square root that, then I would get 2a. So I can actually rewrite the right-hand side as plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided through by 2a. Okay, so then the only thing that is left remaining if I want to get x equals is to move this b upon 2a to the right-hand side. So I'm just going to subtract b minus 2a from both sides. So here what I'm going to get is x is equal to minus b upon 2a plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And of course those two things have got the same denominator, so I can just combine them into one to get minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And there you go. That is the derivation of the quadratic formula. Hope that was helpful. I'll see you again next time.